Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the story of Nilambur, a really beautiful town in Kerala, India. Now, at first glance, you might just see a peaceful, green forest retreat, but hiding in plain sight is this incredible global story. So we're going to peel back the layers of history, nature, and culture to figure out just how this place earned its unique title. You see, Nilambur is known far and wide as the land of teak. And that's not just some catchy slogan for a tourist brochure. Nope, it's actually the key to its entire identity, and it hints at a deep history that put this small town right on the world map.
So that's the big question, right? How on earth does one single town get a title that grand? How did this specific spot become totally synonymous with one of the most valuable types of wood in the world? Well, let's get into it and find out.
All right, to really get to the root of this story, pun intended, we have to start with the land itself. You know, Nilambur's unique geography is the very soil from which its famous legacy grew.
So what makes this place just so perfect? Well, it's all about location. It's tucked right into the foothills of the amazing Western Ghats. It's got the Chaliyar River running through it, and the whole landscape is just draped in these incredibly thick, lush forests. I mean, it's the absolute perfect environment for teak to not just grow, but to thrive.
Okay, so you've got the perfect geography. But how did that natural advantage explode into this huge global enterprise? Well, the answer to that lies in the region's colonial past. Back when the British administration saw some serious and very profitable potential in these forests.
And this brings us to a really key figure, a man named H.V. Conolly. He was the British collector of Malabar back in the 1840s, and he saw the future in these trees. So he launched a project that would literally change forestry forever. He created the world's very first organized, large-scale teak plantation.
And things moved fast. I mean, really fast. Once the British took control in the early 1800s, it only took a couple of decades for Conolly's big idea to become a reality. And by the end of that century, Nilambur wasn't just some local source of wood anymore. It was the global center for systematic teak cultivation.
Now, the coolest part about all this is that the history isn't just locked away in some old books. No way. It's a living, breathing legacy that you can actually walk through today. You could call it the Nilambur Teak Trail.
And this trail really gives you the whole picture. You can start right where it all began, at Conolly's plot. Then you can dive into all the science and history at the Teak Museum, and finally, you can step into the Nedum Kayam rainforest to see the incredible, wild nature that surrounds it all. And get this, that museum points to another amazing first for this town. Nilambur isn't just home to the first plantation. It's also #1 in another category. It's the site of the world's very first teak museum. Think about that. A globally important museum dedicated entirely to just one type of tree.
And that last stop on the trail, the Nedum Kayam rainforest, is so important. It's a crucial reminder that this story isn't just about neat rows of trees planted by people. This whole historic enterprise sits inside a much larger, wilder ecosystem, a place just teeming with elephants, deer, and all kinds of rare birds.
Which brings us to a really important question. We've talked a lot about teak, about colonial history. But is that it? Is that the whole story? Or is there something deeper here? Something that was around long before the British ever showed up?
And the answer is a huge, resounding yes. To really, truly understand Nilambur, you have to look beyond the plantations. You've got to look at its untouched natural wonders and, even more importantly, at its original inhabitants.
You know, away from the organized rows of teak trees, Nilambur's landscape is hiding these absolutely stunning, pristine waterfalls. Places like Adyanpara and Kakkadampoyil that just show you the wild, untamed beauty of the region.
But most importantly, this is where we find the land's first storytellers. Nilambur has this deep, lasting connection to its indigenous communities, especially the Chaliyar and Panias peoples. Their history in these forests goes back thousands of years before any plantation was ever even imagined.
And we're not talking about ancient history that's just in the past. This culture is alive, it's breathing. The whole region is like a living museum of tribal art, incredible bamboo craftsmanship, and folk songs that carry the true, ancient spirit of the forest.
So why does all this matter? Well, because a trip to Nilambur is so much more than just a walk in the woods. It's a chance to stand right at the birthplace of modern forestry, to explore these untouched waterfalls, and to connect with a living tribal heritage that tells the deepest, most powerful story of all.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thought. Nilambur's entire modern identity was shaped by a single tree. It really makes you wonder, what's the one single thing, a river, an industry, maybe a story, that defines the place you call home? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.